Hey, how you doing? All right. Well, thanks for joining me again. And as you can see, the steps are pretty much done now. I'll just show them to you so you can see. Uh, and I'm really happy with how they look. I've really captured the look of the concrete and the rock. And as you can see, I've aged it as well. I've aged it with inks and washes and all sorts, and I'll show those to you in a minute and how I did those. But I'm very, very pleased with uh, how this has turned out. Now I'm happy with how I've captured it because from what I can make out from the film, these steps lead up to what we would call in the UK the council estate, really, and those places are never really looked after or cared for in the way that they should be because the council have never got the money. So that's why there's a bit of brown on there. There's a lot of grey. There's a lot of white as well. Because when you look at concrete and you look at rock, yeah, I'm not entirely sure why, but when people walk on it over a couple of thousand times, the concrete wears and you get like this white look on it. So that's where that comes from. And of course the brown on it simulating dirt that had been ground into the concrete over years. Um, and that's really good. And then there's the whole areas. These areas here get pointed. That's better. These areas here would be more dirty than others because you know where people are walking down the steps and walking up the steps. These areas here will just accumulate all sorts of things really. So I'll be putting some foliage in there and some plants in there, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But I want to talk about the washes. So I just sprayed this with a real dark grey coat. This one, and then I let that dry, and I painted it. I dry brushed it with white. Now these are acrylic paints, as where Mr. Colour is a lacquer paint. The difference between these is basically price. These acrylic paints are £1 each, as where this is basically £2. And the reason for that is because these paints here are for spraying, and you can hand paint with them, but they're very refined, they're very well made, they're quite exceptional. As where these are just canvas paints, really, so you don't need that high level of quality. You do get quality, but not to the same level that you get with a spray paint. But these still have their uses. These are really good for painting big areas like this. So after I sprayed it with a grey, I then went over the whole thing with acrylic white, and I then just went over it again, with a black, and then I let that dry, and then I started with the washes, and washes are really good. This is a wash, it's a bit dried out now, because I've been using it a lot, but that's okay. And all this is literally a combination of black and white and tap water and a couple of drops of isopropene to help the water spread, because isopropene will stop it from forming that water skin, and that's literally all this is. And then I just put a couple of coats of this on, let it dry, rub it off, put another one on, let it dry, rub it off, do a couple of hundred of those, and then on top of that I'll use ink washes, because I've got ink washes, I've got loads of different ink washes. So I put grey, brown and black ink washes on them, and then I let those dry and then rub those off. And what happens when you let it dry, it stains into it, but then when you rub it off, you rub off the excess and you leave behind what you want, really. Doing washes, dry brushing and inking takes time, so it's taken me about 2 weeks to get that looking the way that I want it, and that's fine. It is what it is. It does take time. But while I've got my foliage kit here, which is what this is my foliage kit. I built this up over a long time, and I've got lots of different stuff because, like I said, I'm going to do some moss. I'm going to do some moss, and I'm going to do some grass in these little areas in here, and that's what this kit is for. So I have different types of foliage. Those are grasses as well. different types of grasses. I've got lots of different types of grasses, so I can do grey, I can do green. I use this for flocking as well, so there's blue if I want to do a blue interior on something. There's a very light grey as well. And that's my dispenser. I'll put the flock material in there and then go like that. And that flocks it all down, and that's the glue. And there's plenty of tutorials online if you want to know how to do flocking and you want to learn how to do foliage and grass and trees and bushes and all sorts of stuff. It really can be very satisfying sitting there one evening and just, adding some foliage onto it, and doing that really brings it alive. So before I started doing that, I just want to show you guys where it's at, because this is really ready now for a nice flat coat, and then do some foliage on it, and then this will be done then, and then I can concentrate on the Joker himself. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'll wait until I've done the foliage on this, and then I'll release it, and then you guys can see the base in its full entirety. Okay, so it'll probably take me about a week, maybe two, to do the foliage, and then I'll film that and add it onto this one, and then you guys can see it. So I'll see you guys, well, it'll be about a week or two for me, but for you guys it'll be instant. So I'll see you in a second, alright? You take care. Bye now. Good morning, everyone. As you can see, I've now finished the base. I'm very happy with the way that the base has looked, and yeah, just show you some of the moss. I've got some grass here. I've got some moss going up there. That's going all around the side. Just get the light on it. Going all around the side, and it goes around the back as well. And I've done it random. Where the washes, it's simulating growing moss, but not fully formed. And then obviously where the moss is, it's fully formed. And that just thing goes all the way around. And I've added some flowers into it as well. And that whole grass bit there, there we go. That whole grass bit there. I'm very pleased with how that looks. And this is pretty much how a neglected and not looked after set of stairs would look. And I'm very pleased with how this looks, and this base is done now. And as you can see, after the flat coat, it's not as shiny or as bright as it was, but it still maintains its grey, rocky, concrete look with dirt and dust on it, and no plants growing in it. And I'm very happy with that. That'll be very effective. And that's it for the base, really, guys. I'm going to put a nice bit of black fell on the bottom. But other than that, there's nothing else to really do with this base now, and it's ready for the rest of it. So I'm just in the middle of getting the rest of the bits and pieces all prepped up, and I'll just put the spikes on them so I can use them while I'm working on them and gluing them and all that sort of thing. And I'm just literally waiting now for these to dry so I can get on with it, really. And that's it, guys. So I will post another video, probably of the shoes, these shoes here, and the legs, which I've got off to one side. Yeah, I'll show you that. I'll show you the legs. These are the legs here. They're all ready now, but now the bases are done, I can do it, and these will fit on there very nicely like that. And that'll look really good, that one. I'll be very happy with that. So, until that episode, you all take care and have an awesome weekend. Bye now, guys.